improving the learning experience and closing the achievement gap. Hello everyone and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hassan. This is Comcast Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Superintendent of the Southfield Public Schools, Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
Before we get started, some congratulations are in order. I understand you were recently selected as the entire state of Michigan Superintendent of the Year.
Yes. I am very excited about that because this is an award from my peers, so it means a lot to me.
And almost one of 4 folks who made it to the absolute finalists for National Superintendent of the Year. So we've got some great leadership in our school systems here in Michigan. What is it about what you've been doing in the Southfield Public Schools that was probably recognized and acknowledged and led to that award?
Well, we've been looking at how we can increase student achievement, and that is not an easy task, and it's a multifaceted kind of situation. So what we've been doing is looking for ways, instructional approaches, that would work for students at various grade levels that would improve their student achievement. Most recently, we've looked at our secondary because across the state, we know that grades 9 through 12 present the greatest challenge for us. So we spent a year looking at how we could change. We knew we had to do something different because if not, we'd get the same results, and we wanted different results. So with my 4 high school principals and support from our instructional folks in the district and Wayne State University, who is a partner with us on this, Dean Shields, who's leading that team, we all got together and we looked at our data. We spent a lot of time looking at that data, looking at the scores, looking at how the students were grouped, looking at the classes, and what we decided is that we needed to redesign our entire secondary system in Southfield.
So when high schoolers in particular go back to school this coming fall, how will things be different?
Well, I have 4 high schools. At the 2 comprehensive high schools, that's Southfield High and Southfield Lathrop, you're going to see a 9th grade academy. In the 9th grade academy at Southfield High, you're going to see gender-specific classes in the core. Now, when we talk about the core, it's a little slang we use in education, we're talking about math, English, social studies, and science. Students will be divided. The boys and the girls will be in separate classes, and we think from the research that we've looked at, this is going to help them to focus better. We're also adding additional counseling support to both 9th grade academies at the comprehensive high schools because we know that in this environment they need that support in those relationships. At our 2 small high schools, University High School, which is an examination high school, they will now take 8th graders. So they're expanding to give those 8th graders sort of a head start. So if you think of kindergartners going to Head Start, think of 8th graders in Head Start.
What has the community reaction been, to boys and girls basically being separate, which usually only takes place in some of those elite private schools, if you will?
You know, surprisingly, our parents have supported us. When we introduced this to our parents, we had standing room only in the room. And you can imagine as superintendent when I have a room of parents and it's packed, I'm holding my breath. But they were overwhelmingly positive, particularly the father of girls.
What's so interesting is you've thrown no more money at this. You haven't hired or fired or ticked off any of your employees. And hopefully we will see a year from now when we have that year underway that student achievement is higher and things are going better in Southfield. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Dr. Wanda Cook-Robinson, the Superintendent of the Southfield Public Schools. And sit tight for about 10 seconds.